This case 4 is talking about the long-term installment note receivable. At this time, this is an installment as same as like this. However, the interest in here, the stated interest is there's a stated interest. However, the stated interest is lower than the market rate of interest. In other words, there is an unrealistic stated interest in here of that note, of that promissory note. Now, there's a way on how to address this particular case, unlike with the other or cases that we have discussed earlier. So, ganito yan. Basahin muna natin yung data dito kung ano yung given. Now, on January 1, 2026, ABC Manufacturing sold a tract of land originally cost 400,000. So, this would be the cost. Now, received 600,000 note payment for the land. The note is payable in 3 annual annual installments of 200. Okay, so 600,000 payable in 3 years plus the interest of 4% based on the outstanding balance beginning December 31, 2026. In other words, whatever is the balance of the promissory note at the end of the year, the 4% would be multiplied to that. On January 1, 2026, the prevailing interest rate for the similar obligation is 10. So that's why it is called unrealistic. Okay? It's because you're giving only, the promissory note is paying only 4%. However, in the market, with similar promissory note as you have, is paying 10% instead of 4. Okay. Now, sabi dito, if the cash price of the land is determinable at the date of the sale, for example, there's a cash price for the land, kasi ang rule is that if the promissory note, you receive promissory note in exchange for a non-cash consideration, what you're going to follow first is yung fair market value doon sa non-cash na ibinigay mo. Okay? So, dito, sabi dito, if kung yung cash price daw ng land ay readily determinable at the date of the sale, then yung cash price, yun na yung selling price. Okay? And consequently, the note's present value. Kumbaga, yun na yung ifa-follow. So, whatever is the cash price of the land, that would be the present value of the note. Okay? Kasi at this time, we have to we are not going to stay doon sa face value ng note kasi nga yung kanyang interest rate is not or it's a lot lower than the market rate. So yung kanyang face value is not anymore the amount that we are going to follow pagdating doon sa initial valuation ng notes receivable. Okay, so ang mangyari is mag-determine tayo kung magkano yung present value. So kung ang sabi dito, kung yung land ay mayroon na siyang cash price, there's no need for you to compute the present value of the notes receivable. Kasi yung cash price will become now your present value, sabi dyan. It's the selling price, consequently, the notes present value. So otherwise, the selling price is the fair value, which is the present value of all the future collections. So kumbaga, i-revalue yon, then they are going to determine kung magkano yung ganyan, imputed interest, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, in here, ang nangyari, parang walang cash price yung land. So, they need to discount the notes. Okay? So kaya, magko-compute tayo ng present value kasi yung land ay walang cash price. If the land has a cash price, then it has to be followed doon as a present value of the note. So, at this time, walang cash price, so they need to compute kung magkano yung present value of the note. So, how did they compute that? So, una, yung i-discount nila una yung principal payments, cash flows every year. So, every year, sinabi doon na yung 200 ay babayaran. Okay, equally over the 3 years. Then, i-multiply yan, yung interest dyan, ang first na mag-due ng interest because the first balance is 600. So, yung 4% na will be multiplied on sa 600. So, yung 4% times the 600, ito, 600 ang una kasi na balance, that is equal to 24,000. And so on and so forth. Also, this one, yung 200, yung 400 yung after the 200. So, 400 na naman yung balance. So, yung 400, pagdating dito, that will be computed, that will be the basis to multiply the 4%. So that would be 16,000. So yun yung mga computation dito. So I think you know now how to compute for the rest for the 8,000. Okay. So that's the 24 for the interest of the first year. I-add yan kasi yun yung first din na interest na babayaran aside from the 200,000. So ang total amount na marireceive mo, ng reporting entity doon sa drawer ng notes payable, ng promissory note is 224,000 yung kanyang, again, marireceive. I-multiply yan doon sa first present value. So how did you compute that present value? The present value factor is based on the market value. Kumbaga ganito lang yon. So on the first year, 1 over 1 point, magkano yung sinabi niya doon na interest? The interest is 10. So 10%. Okay, 1.1. So equals to, ano yan? Ang lalabas dyan is 090909. So ganon ang present value on the first year. Okay? Kasi to get the present value, gamit tayo ng ibang ano. So ito yung timeline. Okay? So ito yung timeline. So, kung ito yung 1, year 1, year 2, at saka year 3. So, this is the starting point, the 0. This is the 1, 2, and the 3. The first 200K, and the second 200K, and the third 200K. Dito, mayroon 24K. Dito, mayroon 16K, and 8K. So, add yan. Ito yung total cash flows every year. May 224, may 216, at saka 208,000. So, each of these will be discounted back to the present because ito yung present. So, i-compute bawat isa yung kanilang present value back to the point 0. I mean, to the 0 period. Okay? Ganon. So, kanya-kanya yan, mayroon siyang present value factor. Now, why do we need each of this cash flow na mayroon siyang kanya-kanya present value factor? Why is it na hindi lang siya katulad doon sa yung previous natin na computation na yung 100,000 ay inisa na lang yung pag-compute. Kumbaga nagkaroon lang ng annuity factor na magkano yun? Yung ito yon, yung ganito. Bakit hindi na lang pwede na ganyan? So hindi yan pwede na ganyan, it's because first the reason is that ang ating cash flow po dito ay unequal. Magkaiba yung amount ng cash flow for each year. Okay? So as I said kanina, may 2024, may 2016, 224, 216 at saka 208. So that's why, because of that, kailangan i-multiply sila sa kanilang kanya-kanyang factor. So yun yung isa kanina, i-multiply dito. Yung ito namang isa is 0.82. Okay, paano nakuha ang 0.82? 'Di ba kanina is ito raised to 1 lang kasi ito dito yung ano. So yung sa second year na naman 1 plus 10%, okay, raised to 2. Okay. So ganun. So makukuha mo yung 0.82. Okay? So ganun yung ano, kukunin yung present value. So the total of that, ito na yung computation of that present value. Okay? So, we're done with that computation. Inisa-isa natin. Second is, okay. Now, since we have now the present value of that notes receivable, we can now compute magkano yung kanyang discounts on notes receivable. So, simply the difference of the face value at saka yung present value is the discount. Okay. Now, after that, we are going to determine if there is a gain or loss. So, at this time, there is a gain. Why? It's because the present value of the note that was received is 538, while the carrying value of the land that was given up in exchange for the notes receivable is only 400. So, therefore, we have 138 gain. Okay. Okay, so we're done with the computation. We are now prepared to move forward in the journal entries. To the journal entries. So, una dito, mayroon tayong January 1. Paano ba yung entry natin? So, again, as always, we follow the face value in our valuation for the note in here. And we have to recognize the discount on notes. By the way, in the presentation, the NR, notes receivable, 600,000. Ito yon sa mangyari sa financial position naman, ililess yung discount dito ng note. Okay. So, pag na-less na yung discount ng note, ang mangyari dyan, ang kanyang value talaga ng note is only yung 538,424. So, ganun yun sa balance sheet. Okay. So, now we have credited discount on notes receivable. Discount is a contra liability, contra asset pala. Okay, now we have the land credit. So, we have to credit that in order to remove the land out of our book since we have given that property. And we have now the gain. So, we know how to compute that gain. So, that's how it is. Okay. Now, on December 31, this is your first cash flow. So, the total cash flow that you receive as per computation, as you see, 224,000. So, this is it. Okay. Now, what are other things that we need to consider? Una, we need to remove yung notes receivable. Okay, tanggalin natin yan kasi yan yung una na principal na natanggap natin. Second, yung interest revenue natin is not based on the 24,000 because we have an independent computation of this interest revenue. How did we compute that? So, una, mayroon yung amortization table. So, dito, mag-umpisa tayo sa 538. Ang amortization table natin is telling that our interest based on the effective interest rate of 10% is 53,842. So, yan yun. Kaya, mayroon tayong dito na interest revenue na 53,842. Now, where did this 29,000 come from? So, tatingin pa rin tayo doon sa ating amortization table. So, sabi ng ating amortization table, we have our income here, but our nominal interest that is paid is 24,000. So therefore, the difference between that nominal interest at saka yung interest income natin dito, yun yung amortization for that discount. Okay, simple as ganyan lang. Okay. So after that, parang ganito lang. 538 plus 53 minus 24 plus 29, minus 200. Bali, 538 minus, plus 53 minus 29 minus 200 equals to 368. So, ganyan lang yung computation. Okay? Very simple. Okay? Okay, so, going back, so yun. So, yung 200 natin, i-credit, yung discount natin, amortization, this is amortization. Again, follow the amortization table. Okay, now on the second year, we receive again the 200,000 plus the interest 16. So a total of 216. So just like as what we did on the first year, end of the first year, so we just refer here doon sa mga amounts na yan. So second amortization is 36,000. Second interest revenue, and our amortization is 20,827. So, just like that, again, the notes receivable still the same kasi yun yung natanggal doon sa face value. And that 2028. So, similar. So, the key is that we have to know how to prepare amortization table because all of the amounts that are to be presented or prepared for the journal entries are coming from here. Okay? And yeah, except for the initial recognition because we have a computation for the present value and also for the gain or loss on the sale of the property. So that's it for our case number 4, which is an equal amount of installments with, this is very complicated. Why? It's because our interest rate in here is different from the market interest rate. Okay, so later on, next video, we are going to discuss this one. long-term installment.